Welcome back, pilots. Well, as you can see, I am yet in another death spiral type lobby. Now, to be fair, I was playing in a mobile suit that I was not very practiced in. I should have chose the Alex, which I know very well, and I know this map with that Alex would have been a much better engagement. But as you can see, well, you got in just a little bit towards the end. Um, yeah, the what I call a death spiral is basically the team I'm on starts to panic, and they think that throwing more bodies at the problem is the solution. They go into an attrition mode, and basically what happens is that the mobile suit will get destroyed, and they've probably picked a mobile suit that spawns really quickly because each of them do have a respawn time to them, and it gets really, 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 chaotic because they're dying. There's like six of us on the team, and say two suits will go down, and those guys will respawn immediately, but they'll spawn at points away from where the action actually is, or non-strategic regrouping points. Nobody talks in this game to each other. There's no team microphone or anything. Not that you would have very many people speaking the same language, and the quick chat options are just fucking ridiculously limited. Um, Almost every single one of these maps has control points on them. Yet none of the quick chat options, say respawn at A or respawn at B or respawn at C or something like that, or regroup at A or regroup at B or regroup at base. Um, if there were some commands like that, that would be much better to direct the flow of traffic. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. The other problem is that because this is a PvP, a contemporary PvP game, nobody really wants to be a follower. Everybody's got to be the same. Everybody plays this game like they're the only actual player, and everybody else is just some high functioning NPC. And it's like I said, there's good days, and then there's a whole shitload of bad days, and it's just no in between. But I play the game because it's the fantasy of running around in the Gunpla that I build and customize. Plus, I mean, there's a really nice little paint option in here that allows you to tinker around with some possible color schemes for customizing. Like this one. I like this one. I don't own this mobile suit. I don't own this Gunpla, but I used to have an Alex. I should probably actually. I want to find a really inexpensive outlet for some 144 scale Alexes. I think I'm going to go ahead and start building those again. I've got about a dozen RX 78s in the HD scale that I'm going to be customizing. I already did one in a vaporwave kind of style. I might take a still photo of that and just post it as a community post on the channel, so you guys can go check it out if you want to. Start doing something like that, I guess. Start getting away from these bat reps that are just, ugh. So basically, key point I want you to take away from this, I'm going to keep this short here. If you're in a lobby and it looks like two or three of your teammates are just spastically respawning every opportunity they can, pick the other teammates that are looking like they're trying to coordinate their spawn, so you all spawn in a group, and be aware of the fact that a lot of videos out there will say don't worry about command points or capture points because that is important. Well, about mid game you should be worrying about them, because at that time your opponents are probably figuring out one of three strategies. One, they're going to blow your base up. Two, they're going to funnel you into a kill box away from your base. So you'll either have to choose to spawn at your base away from the action, or spawn at this one command point that they will refuse. You'll notice it. You'll see it. It'll be a command point. There'll be a bunch of enemies around it, but none of that team is going to fucking try to take the point. That's because they're hoping that you'll spawn there so they can fucking mob you. And that's exactly it. You're going to end up with 1v3 situations, and I don't give a fuck how badass you think you are. Unless you're cheating, you ain't going to survive that. So it's really better to not spawn all the time at the base unless it's late game and there's a high chance that somebody's going to try to bomb you. But I would say pick something a little bit close to their base, as close to their base as possible, and try to spawn. Try to wait for the timers so that you can all spawn at least two or three suits at a time in that same spot. Because believe it or not, you do get enough of an overshield that if the three of you spawn there, you just pick outward-facing arcs, and anybody who's trying to ambush you on the reload um, gets a counterattack, and then they'll rethink their strategy, and either they'll be arrogant and stubborn and always want to win, like our most notable North American orange, um, or they'll smarten up and back the fuck off. But there's no guarantees. Anyway, that's all I got to share. Thanks for stopping by.